Giving you guys another video. In this video I want to be talking about how to become a profitable trader, because I understand the struggles coming from a trader. I've been trading for since 2021, done it all, my guys. I've ran up accounts to 6 figures, ran up accounts to even 7 figures. I ran up, I've done it all, the whole story. When it comes down to it, if you want to become a profitable trader, very easy, my guys. You have to have a working strategy. When you go to other YouTubers, you go to other influencers, crypto gurus, whatever you want to call it, you're gonna see everybody has their own strategy. I have my own strategy, which I really love because it works for me and it works for my students. But there's different strategies. You pick a strategy that works for you. Okay. Second, you're gonna want to have risk management. It's very easy to full pour and blow up your accounts and start back from zero. So if you combine, proper strategy, risk management, what do you got next? You need a good mentality, a good mindset. If I'm talking to you, okay, if you want to get improved in trading, okay, you really have to master those 3 things. A little bit about myself. For many of you guys, you might not know me. My name is Scape. I am a day trader, very specifically niched in Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. But if you understand Bitcoin is the G, the Don, the real, token, you should really focus on mastering trading. Okay, so that's what I do. I love trading. I'm very passionate about it. I trade in a way that's very different than others. And just to go like a quick rundown how my strategy works, it's no stop loss. We enter a market, 50-60x, and we aim for minimum 20% profit. Okay, with my strategy that I've overall tailored, custom, put in the works for many months, hours, and kept on improving it. I became a profitable trader. And many times you're gonna see people here, okay, that they're gonna be claiming oh, I'm a profitable trader and all that. I'll keep it real with you guys. Yes, being a trader does involve losses. Yes, being a trader has its ups and downs. But when it really comes down to it, is do you have the will to win? Simple as that. Do you have the will to win? So I'm here to talk to people that want to improve the trading. If you notice, my videos are very not highly edited. I'm not here to get attract just everybody. I'm only here really to talk to people who want to improve in trading, want to take it serious. So I'm here to answer questions. You have any questions, drop them down below. You have any want to hear anything like why I do this, why I do that, drop them down below. For me, I trade in Margex, very simple exchange. You enter right here, boom, 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 50-60x leverage. Bitcoin, you can enter Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. Let's say, for example, Bitcoin is dumping. Okay, you could be shorting Ethereum and Solana, and these, they dump even harder. So it's very common. This happens all the time. People inside my Discord are constantly profiting because I'm able to see the future. Simple as that. I've been seeing this dump. The market is dumping, and it's pretty obvious. Nothing goes straight up, forever. So yesterday, 9 in the morning, before the big dump, the direction remains short. Entry and exit on you. Okay, what I do, I do consultations on trading Bitcoin, because that's what I'm very passionate about. That's what I'm very, niche, and that's what I specialize in. Because once you're able to understand how Bitcoin runs in cycles, you're able to then predict the future with it and profit consistently with it. And if you understand, if you see every single movement here in the chart, if you look at my chart, it's very simple. I don't look at all these indicators. What I try to make you is you become like your own AI indicator to buy and sell and to enter when not to enter. There's times and seasons that we don't trade. We call it the no trade zone. That's when there's a fresh candle in the beginning. You let it form. Okay, we call it the no trade zone. We have times where there's common pump and dumps patterns. We have times during the week. We could see AM pumps, afternoon pumps. But at the end of the day, what my strategy really relies on is what I call scanning the trenches. So for the new people, if you're looking at this chart, you can look at it like a war zone. You can look at it like you're playing chess. You can look at it like you're playing basketball. And at the end of the day, what you have to do is put in the reps and sets, and see it as a game. Okay, we're gamifying trading, red army versus green army. And your job as a trader is during your trading session, okay, you want to identify, is direction clear, yes or no? If direction is clear, okay, then you're going to want to see, where can I enter? A lot of times, I'll give you a quick tip. A lot of times you want to enter either underneath or below the whole number with Bitcoin. So let's say direction is long. Okay, you enter underneath 77 and exit above. Or direction is short, you enter above 78 and exit underneath. That's just a quick tip for you guys. And it goes much deeper than that, because not all the time you have those opportunities. So what you have to do is first, determine direction, enter appropriately, and the final thing to the recipe, is exit and withdraw your profits. 'Cause a lot of you guys, a lot of you guys are more greedy than you should be. Okay, you shouldn't be. I'm not here to be. We all have a sense of greed, you could call it, but you can't be. You have to be more realistic. If you just converted your $1,000 to 3,000, pay yourself. If you converted your 2,000 to 10,000, pay yourself. We're here to speak the truth, nothing but the truth. Many of you guys, need somebody like me to tell you what to do. I'm here to give you guys the real information. And I want you guys to be profitable. In order for you to become profitable, there's days that you don't trade. Simple as that. There might not be clear direction. Direction might be stagnant. Bitcoin might be, in the same, little range, very tight. Okay, there's not breaking out yet. So we do see patterns, especially towards the weekend. We saw Sunday dump. We saw Bitcoin crash. Am I surprised? No. Because I've been through this. I've been through the last bull run, last bear market. We went to this bull run. We're heading towards, a downtrend. We'll see how down this goes. Am I surprised that we touched, 50K lows again? Not surprised at all. As a trader, you profit over these movements. And if you cannot, identify with that, then what are you doing in crypto? Simple as that. In crypto, you come here to make money. And if you want to make money, you're going to hang out with people here. They're experienced veterans in this battlefield. That's why, for my people listening, if you want to improve your trading proficiency, what I could do in these videos is give you guys as much free value as possible. Talk about my experiences, who I am, what I do, how long I've been doing this. Overall, I've made tons of money in trading. Okay, I don't have to trade at this point. I could if I like to. If not, it's not what I need to do. I have, different businesses. I have different investments, but I do find passion in trading, and that's why I like doing it. If you want to improve your trading proficiency, okay, I want every single person that believes, in what I'm saying to improve. Because there's two types of people. I would say there's three types of people. There's people who, watch things happen. Okay, there's people who watch, the dump yesterday happen. There's people who, wonder what happened. There's people that don't even know what's going on. They don't even know because they're not even involved in this industry. Okay, so if you're the type of person that's watching the dump happen but don't know how to profit, what I need you to do is, drop any questions below. My DMs, email, and Telegram is open to answer any questions of you guys. If you want, mentorship, I'm here for you guys. When it comes down, you're able to profit massively in these dumps, not only because it was clear direction, but aside from that, when there's really clear direction to the one side, even a blind man could trade. Anybody could press this little red button in Margex, and profit massively. And and then the final person that is, if I'm saying there's three types of people, the last person is people that make things happen. So if you're here watching, people profit. If you're here watching people become successful day traders, if you're here watching it happen, okay, I'm trying to transition as many of my students, to make it happen. You gotta make it happen. You cannot just be watching all your life. Keep watching. What you're gonna do is just gonna see other people, live the life that you want, but you don't know how to do it, or you're too cynical, or too in a way narcissist that you don't want to learn. So I'm here to talk to people who are not narcissists, who are not cynical, who are not pessimistic. No pessimistic people in my videos. If you're trying to change your career, trying to level up, okay, I'm here to provide as much free value in my videos. Yes, I offer mentorship. Yes, I offer a Discord. Yes, I offer daily trade updates. Yes, I offer consultations. Just like anything, okay, do you go to school to improve in whatever career you're in? Okay, you go to school for that reason, for education. You're trying to learn from the professor. A lot of times the professors don't even do what they preach. When it comes down to it, when you're entering a mentorship, like for example here on YouTube, here on the internet, okay, typically it's a different breed of education, because you're speaking to people who are actually doing what they talk, doing what they preach. I'm not like the fat gym teacher. I'm not like the fat gym teacher that's teaching you how to be healthy. You know, I'm here, a real soldier in this battlefield. My name is Scape. I've been trading. I could show you. I can show you the tire, everything. I can show you screenshots, everything. But end of the day, if you're like relying on just that, then you're not the type of person I want to speak to. Simple as that. What I could show you is inside my Discord. Inside my Discord, I tell you guys before the stuff happens. Before the stuff happens, my guys, I know how to determine direction and I know how to perfect, your entries and exits, and I could teach you how. It's very easy. Overall, we've been seeing a downtrend in Bitcoin ever since January 19, 2025. Okay. If you weren't around back in 2021, we experienced a crazy bull run. Many people made a lot of money, and the bull run ended. I could tell you when. It really started ending on December 4th, 2021, when Bitcoin had a massive crash, just like it crashed yesterday. In December 4th, 2021, Bitcoin dumped over 10K one single day, and that's the type of movements that traders like us profit on. But there's gonna be more opportunities. There's gonna be so many opportunities on the downside and the upside. So that's why I love Bitcoin. That's why I trade Bitcoin, because I understand the movements it makes, the overall velocity of the money, the how volatile it is. That's what a trader needs. Okay, if there's no volume, you can't trade it. So I like trading high impact days. I like trading at high leverage with no stop loss. I like trading when there's clear direction, and I could teach as many of you guys as well on how to do everything to become a successful trader. Okay, in the beginning, we'll go over it again. In the beginning, you're gonna want to trade with, what you're comfortable with, because at the end of the day, you have to put your reps and sets. Once you do your reps and sets and see that you're becoming, closing these trades back to back, closing these trades back to back, then you up the game. You play with a real wallet. You try to level it up, try to double it, triple it, quadruple it. You're supposed to withdraw. That's what many of you guys always forget. You gotta withdraw your profits. Okay, anybody could become a great trader. It all depends. Do you have the will to win? Do you have the mindset? I go back to the three types of people. Are you wondering what's happened? Because many people wonder what happened. Many people wonder how big people become profitable traders. There's people who watch, profitable traders become successful, and there's people who, make it happen. Are you gonna make it happen? Simple as that. I would say this, if you're able to, come make $100 to $200, you can make $1,000 to $2,000. You can make, $10,000 to $20,000. And if you think of it, people out here, what we're doing is learning a high income skill. If you're into trading, you shouldn't be into trading for the money. You should be in trading to learn a high income skill, because that in of itself will result to you making money. And in all reality, we're here to be as transparent as possible. I love teaching this, and this is what I'm very passionate about. So I would say this, my strategy of trading is very different. Okay, you're gonna see other people with their own strategies, whatever you call it, technical analysis. Okay, I'm not a big fan of that. But aside from all of that, at the end of the day, we're raising winners, and I feel like every single individual, mentor, teacher, coach out here teaching day trading has a sole goal, and that's to improve students' lives. That's to help, guide them. That's to help teach them. And if you're here, that's what my goal is. And overall, I've raised, tens of winners. I raised a whole bunch of students that come to me and they become profitable, not only because they like, I gave them the right information, okay, and they had the will to win. If I'm able to do it, you could do it. Simple as that. That's what I want to leave with that note. In order to become a profitable trader, it's not going to be as easy as it sounds. You're going to take your time. But at the end of the day, you have that why, have that purpose, have the reason why you started and why you're never giving up. Well, the first moment you give up, it don't matter what other industry you go into. It don't matter if you go into these other, industries, all these other guys do. If you give up in day trading, you're going to be giving up in anything else you could dive into. So if I were you, I would stick true to what it is to be a real G out here in this battlefield and learn how to day trade. And anybody can learn this, like I said. So we're here to drop any questions, anything you like me to answer. and we'll go from there. So catch you in the next one.